put the recording on. So peradventure, if you would have to go back, there will be file for you to make reference.
Okay.
All right, so now let's understand the perspective. What is project management?
Okay.
Project, first of all, before we go into project management, we'll say project, it's a temporary endeavor undertaking to create a specified project or create a specified product or services or result.
The project is what?
Project, it's an endeavor, a temporary endeavor that is undertaken to create a unique product or a unique service or result.
Talking is undertaking.
Undertaking. It's an endeavor undertaking to create a unique product or service or result. So like a project, that is to say, if a project is an endeavor, which means it's a work, what we must do is an action stuff, which means people would come together and carry out activities. And creating, which means they must be pattern, that's they're going to create something tangible, something tangible, maybe seeable, something usable. Then the uniqueness of the product or service or the result is that it must have a specification. It must have a unique description. It must fit a purpose. That is about it. So once you have a project that does not fit its purpose, the aim of the project is defeated. So how do we now create a product that fits its purpose? That is where we would have to ensure that it's well planned by collecting certain requirements from the sponsors, the stakeholders. The stakeholders may have a dream, like what they want to achieve. And contracting you as a project manager is for you to help them to achieve that dream, either in a product, either by carrying out a service or creating a result for them. So it must be unique, which means there must be a scope to it. And creating it, there must be activities to it. And these activities sometimes must be sequenced. What comes after what, or what comes before what? I haven't understood this. Now let's see, what are projects? There are various kinds of projects. We may be contracted to create a bottling, a water bottle for an organization. We also may be contracted to put together certain features for a gadget. Just like what you're into construction, maybe road construction, house construction, all these are projects. And we also have infrastructural projects. Even in civil engineering, the design aspect is also a project. Anything that has start and unique definition and would also come to an end is a project. You may be contracted by an organization to come on to design an SOP for them, standard operating procedure. Also, as the project manager, you're required to be inclined in business also. Some organizations may contract you to come up to put together certain processes that would make their operations seamless, or carry out a research and then bring data for them to define or to analyze. Events to a project because they have start and they have finish. They have hands rather. So you just name them, anything that has beginning and end, that a budget must be allotted to, that should be well defined. It's a project. So that is why we say a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or result. Now, what is project management? Having understood project, now you know that understanding project does not mean that you can manage the project very well. You should know what is required of you to manage a project from start to finish as you maximize.
Not understanding the project does not mean.
Understanding a project does not mean that you can manage the project. Just like the construction project, the civil engineer may have understanding of the project from start to finish, what is required of him to do. But he may not have the knowledge to manage other workforces. He may not have the knowledge to manage resources. He may not have the knowledge to manage stakeholders. What about the inherent risk? Does he have the knowledge to identify the risk and make an allotment and come up with an understanding of how they should be mitigated? He may or may not. So this is why all of us involved in projects are supposed to have understanding of our project, to know where we would have to cut costs down, or probably come up with an alternative analysis to know what can serve us more or best. As a project manager, what you're looking at, talking about cost, is to buy more for less. Is to actualize more for less.
Wait, please, okay, as a project manager, your job is to cut costs, right?
Yes, cut cost, but achieving the required quality. You are saving, don't say cut costs, your job is to save costs. Your job is to save time. Your job is to save resources, talking about materials, equipment, and the human resources. If you can do these three things perfectly, you can start and close your project, satisfying the stakeholders. So what is project management? Your understanding of the definition of project management would remind you of what is expected of you to do in our project. Project management is the application of knowledge, what you know, what you should know. If you don't know so much about the project, you go and know it. That's why we say project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. The requirements are what the stakeholders want you to give to them, they want from you as the project manager. But
project management is the application of knowledge, skill, tools, and techniques to meet what?
To project activities, to meet project requirements. Is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. Okay, let me find out. Can you see my screen where you are?
Yes, but it's not. It's just one screen. You've not opened any page.
Okay, so as I'm moving on, it's actually not showing there. Okay. How do I now fix this? Okay, let's just continue this way, because I'm moving the slides and it's not showing there. But no problem. In the recordings, you will have it shown. So once we're done with this class, I'll send you the whole video so you can watch again before our next class if you would have the time. Okay.
Okay, go on.
Let me start back to resume. Let me resume the share. Let's see if okay, if it will show this time around. Okay, just give me a minute because it's good you're seeing the screen so you can be. Okay, please confirm if you can see the screen.
How to manage your project successfully.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, we were talking about, let's reiterate. I said project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. That is to say that all projects would have start and finish, which means for it to be unique, we would have to define it according to specifications. We would have to define our project according to functionalities. We would have to define our project according to the scope. So to say, at the end of it, the project would satisfy the stakeholders' requirements, what they expect of us. That is about project. And I said, we have different kind of projects. Everything that has beginning and end, and the budget must be allocated to. It's a project. And as a project manager, it's expected of you to save cost on your project. It's expected of you to save time. It's expected of you to save materials. It's expected of you to be able to come up with alternatives in which the job can be done better and the quality achieved. It's expected of you to manage the stakeholders. And before you manage the stakeholders, you must first of all identify the stakeholders. Now, who are these stakeholders? These stakeholders are people that can actually influence your project positively or negatively. And also, people that your project can influence negatively or positively. So you must identify them.
Come again. Who are the stakeholders in a project?
The stakeholders in a project are the people that your project can influence negatively or positively. Maybe the community where you're carrying out exploration or construction activities. If you're going to be making some loud sounds, you know it's going to be affecting them negatively. Because of your project, if there would be a huge influx of personnel coming into the community, the price of commodities in the community would be influenced negatively. Price, spike up. So you are influencing them negatively. So you must consider them. That makes them stakeholders. And also, the second set of stakeholders are those that can influence your project positively or negatively. The government.
That's the first one now. Okay.
No.
Okay. Number one, community.
Yes, community, it's a stakeholder because the community too can affect your project. They can come and stop your project. They have stakeholders you can influence negatively and positively. They too, in certain category, can influence you positively or negatively. The government also is there. For instance, if you are designing a product, the buyers, the end users too would be your stakeholders because you must design the product in a way that they would buy at the end. And then for like your business construction, You are designing, building according to their requirement, according to their specification. If at the end of the day, you are not being able to build according to what is required of you from them, they may not accept it. That is to say, desiring to do it in a way that the stakeholders or the sponsors would accept the project is that they are influencing your project. Because you cannot build the project away from their budget. You can't do that. So we must identify in the beginning of project the people that can influence our project positively or negatively. And also those that our project can influence positively or negatively. Yeah, that's about the stakeholders which we must identify. Because it's from them we will pick the requirements to put together. It is from them we would know what is expected of us to do. But in practice, I've come to understand that most stakeholders, most project owners don't know what they want. Most times their desires are vague. Most times their dreams.
Project owners, not contractors.
Project owners, when we say owners, it could be like in a,
The
if you are
client.
the client, yeah, the client most times don't know what they want. Just like maybe they want a five-star hotel and they are contracting you. They may not know how to put together these resources and how much it will cost. I just want you to give me something that is better than Burj Khalifa. I just want you to give me something that is better than Burj Al Arab. What is the functionality? They don't know. They just only want you to give them something that is better than that. You see, but you would know that in certain times, they should release certain amount to you. But they may not be willing according to the supply of their funding. So you would help them to understand that, okay, we would need 50% of the cost at so and so time, 20% at this time, and that is your work as a project manager. And one of the most difficult things you would face is bringing them into the understanding of the project. But as a project manager with experience, if you follow the sequences that we want to treat now, it will help you to save time. It will help you to save cost. It will help you to save materials and deliver projects according to specifications successfully. Let's move on to what project management is all about. Like I said in the interview, knowing projects is just a technical knowledge. Having a technical knowledge does not make you a good project manager. If you have knowledge about project management, you can manage the technicalities of projects. You can manage all the connections and connects of projects. You can manage the human aspect of it. You can manage the material aspect of it. So that's why we say project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project's requirements. That is that about project management. Yeah. So there are activities in every project. There are certain things that we must do first. For instance, in a construction project, maybe an housing project, if it is in the forest that we want to site it, we must get there. First of all, carry out surveys. And before that, we clear out the paths for the surveying. We do bush clearing majorly. We may want to grub and so forth before we start setting out, carrying out the excavation and carrying out blinding, planting the substructure and so forth according to the design. You see? But there are, so we talk about sequences. There are overlaps also, right? The overlap could be at when we are clearing, we could be carrying out procurement, be buying cement, be buying rebars. You see the sequencing. So we must understand the two things that can run concurrently. So in the definition, in the planning of the project, we will identify those overlaps and how long it will take them to overlap. That is looking at the logics, the start, if the project is start to finish, or the activities are start to start, the activities are finish to start, or finish to finish. We'll talk about them in detail. So that's about that. So we must have all this understanding about project management to be able to manage our project successfully. So as a project manager, there are three things you must be competent of to be successful in every project, be it a pharmaceutical project, be it a business project, a construction project. Three things you must know. If you have this expertise, you would be successful in all projects. The first one is the technical project management. And then leadership.
That's the second one.
Yes, leadership, the second one. Now, in projects, we discover that most projects should be built in a way that it wants to meet the needs of certain stakeholders somewhere. For that, we have started seeing project as business. Yes. So the number three is that you must have strategic and business management skills and knowledge. So talking about
and business management skills.
Yeah. So talking about the technical project management skill, it's wide. So for that project, you are putting together understanding of what is expected of you as regards if it is an electrical installation project. As a project manager, you're expected to come up with a team of experts, carrying out your due diligence, looking for the right products, understanding what the right product entails, and what is not the right product, and the technicality of installing them. And all these knowledges can be gotten from the experts, the electrical engineers that are going to be working with you. In the planning phase, you will drive them towards defining the one that works, the one that will meet for functionality. And as they are saying that, you are having them recorded. Then you move on to the installation. What are the things we must do first to install them right? Because you know, certain times people would acquire a gadget, and instead of going through the manufacturer's manual to understand the technicality and the functionality of that gadget, they may feel they know everything, and once they have something broken, they will not start consulting the manual. But you as the project manager, you start off with the manual, gathering knowledge. From the experts, from these manuals, you will be able to put out the specification. And even if the expert that you're bringing on is not being able to supply them in certain areas, you will know what is missing because you have carried out your due diligence. For example, if it's a door, you would want to know by talking to vendors, which one is the best. It may require you to give them certain amount of money for consultation. So then I start telling you, don't buy from Japan, buy from America, or you cannot get an original one at this time of the year, except you are manufacturing it yourself. For you to manufacture it, you need to bring in so and so expert from substance, things like that will give you the technical knowledge. And with this technical knowledge, if you're meeting an expert in that field, the person there will be surprised. What happened? Are you a civil engineer? How come you know all these things? You know them because you have carried out your due diligence on that project. Fold your sleeves, you fold your trouser, you hit the road, and you now start talking to people about that job, about that business, about the right time to carry out that project, about the right way to buy and to save cost, about the right product that may last. And then you have all these knowledges in the beginning. So that is about the technical knowledge. And now you now know what to do about it. Second one is the strategic and the business management skill. Yeah, I said project managers should be knowledgeable.
There's the third one, strategy and business. Not talked about leadership.
Okay, no, here in my slide, I have the leadership in number 3. Okay, let's take leadership. Okay. Leadership skills as 2. Leadership skills involve the ability to guide, motivate, and direct team. And this skill is quite essential. It's about the capabilities of you, the project manager, to be able
to guide and motivate the team. I mean.
Yes, to guide and motivate the team. And you need certain skills in it as the most negotiation skill. Because certain times you could be talking to your team and they are not willing to move. Maybe because the client has not released certain the required amount that could have taken care of certain things. As you negotiate with them, you should be able to negotiate with the stakeholders too. And negotiation is a leadership skill. Another one is that you must be resilient. When you say this is what we want as the quality, you stand on it and ensure that the team is getting it. You're not cutting corners. And you must know how to communicate, to use the right language. And that's why in project management, one of the knowledge area is the project communication management. When we get there, we'll talk about communication in detail. What is expected of you, how to communicate. We have different kinds of communication channels in projects. How to calculate your communication channels and know what you should do. So one of the leadership skills is problem-solving skill. How to resolve conflicts. Maybe 2 personnel working under you are storming. What are you to do? You should know when a team is being formed, you are forming a team you're forming a team with people from different backgrounds. So conflict is inevitable. So you must know when you put them together, when you form them. Most likely they may want to storm. Start claiming who is better. One may say, I went to Harvard and this one went to one stupid Nigeria school. Who is he? And I'm supposed to be the project lead. So you want me to now take orders from this man? So you as the project manager, you should be able to come up with guiding principles. Now, maybe a particular personnel somewhere is holding information. And you know, if this man is not releasing this information, we may not be able to build the project or the product according to the owner's specification. We may not be able to build the project on time. We may lose money, we may lose time, we may lose materials. So you now start coming up with guiding principles to ensure that they collaborate. And you would know when to take one off the project and when to discipline. And as a project manager, part of your leadership skills is that you must be able to think critically.
Must be critical thinker.
Yeah, you must be a critical thinker. And also a creative thinker. Yes, that is that. And then leadership skill would not be complete without interpersonal skills. These interpersonal skills are soft skills. They are not taught in the school. These are things that are conversant with you. You alone know them. We're talking about managing people. You have learned them all by yourself. These are things that you can rely on. You may not be able to describe them, but when you're dealing with people, these things are showing, and maybe the way you keep your face, and all of a sudden, when the personnel is saying that, oh God, I'm tired, okay, all of a sudden it's okay, sir. I will do it. I will do it. Maybe your project is during Christmas, and your personnel are saying, oh God, we want to travel to the village. Please, we have to stop on the 19th. And looking at the schedule built, if we're not being able to work for additional 3 days, maybe up to 22, we may not deliver at the speculated time. And you're looking for a way to make them stay. You're fixing a kind of party on the 23rd. And as you're talking to them, you're telling them some kind of incentives that will be distributed on that day and certain things. And you know, if you do that, some of them would start calling their wives and say, okay, darling, I'm not coming on the 19th again. But you said 19th, and don't worry. If I'm coming, I'll be able to buy you that stuff and that you said I should buy, because we are expecting certain incentives for those that can work till 23rd. You see, these are leadership skills. Then strategic and business management skill. Yeah, you're being invited as a project manager now to design a product, maybe a safety boot for the manufacturer, or to manage the manufacturing of the safety boots. And this safety boot, they want to sell it. Is it that your job is just only to come in technically and manage the personnel and watch them how they design and build according to the requirements or the specification of the owners? No, your job is not only that. Now we have come to understand that you would do better if you have certain business acumen. How that safety boot can compete in the market. What kind of color would buyers want? What kind of colors or maybe materials would be required in the field? What are they looking for? So instead of looking at putting the predefined materials together to get something formidable, you are looking at something that would appeal, would stand out, and would be able to lead the competition in the market. Yeah. So you must understand the business aspect of it. If you understand the business aspect of it, your product will do well. Because in your product, you will integrate maybe the size, maybe certain designs, certain color. If you're designing safety boots in India, you know these people, they love red so much, and then you want to sprinkle it around somewhere, you are embedding red color. And you know that, okay, in the market, they would be attracted to the one that has red in the logo. Maybe you're designing it for women, for ladies, or for children. You will play with the pink, right? You want to play a touch of pink somewhere. And you know that pink can actually stand out. Then you're looking at functionality also. Yeah. So that is about the business. So when you work with a project sponsor, you will find out that their desires and their specifications sometimes may not stand out in the market. So you would want to ensure that you are implementing strategies in a way that the business value of your project would be maximized. You see, you're designing, but yet you're thinking about the market. You're thinking about the market competition. You have understanding of the organization that is leading the competition. Talking about the forces, the market forces, the kind of market forces. I wrote a book titled How to Lead the Competitive Forces in the Market, for a short book. After this training, I think I'll have to send it to you to at least to look up and see certain things if it will be helpful. Okay, and now project management has 5 stages. Project management has a life cycle. When we say life cycle, when we give birth to it, when it exists and retire. So in this life cycle, we have 5 stages, and these 5 stages are called the process groups.
Management as life cycle, I mean.
Yes, and these life cycles are called the process groups, and the process groups are 5. And we must understand each process.
Process group.
Yes, 5 process groups. The first one is the project initiation. Second one is the project planning.
Wait.
Okay.
1, project initiation.
2, project planning.
2, project planning.
3, project execution. 4, project monitoring and controlling. 5, project closure.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's take a look at them. The first one, project initiation. This is the very first phase within the project management life cycle. And it has to do with the starting of the project, what is expected of us to do in the beginning of all projects. From when you are being called that a contract had been awarded you, or you have been assigned a project manager, what should you do? Or the sponsor or the stakeholders or the owner is calling you that this is what I have. I have a dream that someday I would be the owner of the best hotel in Nigeria. At that time, what should you do? In this phase, the business problem or opportunity is identified. In this initiating phase, you define the solution in a high level. In this phase, you form the project.
in this stage from the
Yes.
project.
And also,
Well, the first thing you said in this stage, you see the
business problem or opportunity is identified.
The business what?
Problem or opportunity. Problem.
Or opportunity.
Is identified.
Identified.
Yeah, because some projects are initiated because of certain needs. The man telling you that he wants to own a hotel in the best hotel in Port Harcourt, it could be that clients that are flying, business owners that are coming into the city are not being able to find befitting hotels for themselves or for their guests. That is a problem. And also can be seen as an opportunity for someone who has the resources to go in certain direction. So in this phase, you may come up with the preliminaries of everything, how much it will require, the building, the construction of the project. In this phase or stage, you may want to put together a preliminary team, maybe your civil engineer, your your quantity and quality engineer. You may want to invite your procurement professional. You put these people together, and at this time, so all of you can listen to the clients and understand what is expected of you to do. And so you can provide solution to the customer. And certain times you may be the customer. You can also see it as you are designing, initiating the project for yourself. But even if you are doing it for yourself, follow these requirements. So in the initiating, we come up with the preliminaries. Then, like I said, the business aspect is for you to create the business case. Now, what is the business case? The business case has to do with the identified business need.
What is the business
case? The business case has the identified business need. And how to meet the need. And capture profit. That is the business case. And also, in this phase, you carry out the feasibility studies.
That's in the business case, have you?
The business case has to do, yeah, in the business case too, there must be feasibility studies in the business case because you must hit the road to ensure that you have knowledge of what the product is all about in the market and so on and so forth, and who is going to join you to design and to build. So you must conduct feasibility studies. And in the business case, there must be options of meeting the needs. It's either we are doing it this way or that way. That is alternative analysis would be carried out in there.
Alternative analysis.
Yes. Yeah. And then there is what is called the project charter. Project charter.
Project.
Charter.
This comes up in the project initiative too.
Yes. The project charter would be developed in the initiating phase. Now, what is the project charter? The project charter has the preliminary plans, the preliminary budget, the preliminary...
Wait, you're too fast.
Okay.
You say the project charter has what?
The preliminary plans in a high level. That is the budget.
It has the preliminary plans.
Yes.
I.e. one, budget.
Budget. Then resources required. Time required. And all of them put together in a document. And after that, the project owner would sign that we are contracting you as the project manager to embark on this project, and you too would sign. Okay, permit me, my battery is running down. Let me switch the battery now. And so we start, we continue rather, and in the next 30 minutes will be through. So I'm going to log out and log in, please.
What time is it now?
I think we've spent about 1 hour. Should we call it a day?
That's so much I can go and do my exercise. You know, I told you.
Okay, no problem.
I
I
don't
have to
do
stop
exercise
because the laptop will switch off now. So let's rather call it a day.
Okay, so when are we doing the gate?
I think we can still do, if we want to be online, we can do tomorrow again online and fix 1 hour that is comfortable with you. Let's do online.
Okay, then on Monday too.
Yes, on Monday too. Okay.
Okay. Are you going to send me this